Frank. Okay. It says we're live. Okay. Welcome everyone to Hit or Miss. I'm your host, Night Strike, and yeah, we got a panel with us tonight. We got a bunch of topics to talk about as well, but first, let's introduce the illustrious panel for this evening. So first up, we've got everyone's favorite bowler. We've got Kingpin.
Hey, now what's happening? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Whoa.
And up next, we've got everyone's favorite road pirate, C4 Defense, Sarge. What's going on, Sarge?
I'm not familiar with what a road pirate is, but hello.
It's what obnoxious one calls you, so I just rolled with it.
Fish shave your neck.
I already did.
I know. And I applaud you for doing that.
It's like I'll turn the camera on in a few minutes, but again, I know you're having issues with the internet, so getting through that. Next up, we've got everyone's favorite YouTuber, the Mister. I'm doing a 20,000 sub giveaway. Travis P11. What's going on, Travis?
And speaking of neck beards, I will begin growing out my beard on Friday, so everybody mark your calendars. I will look very unshaven in the near future. And like you said we are giving away a 224 Valkyrie upper that's been a test around the channel. Just go over to Travis P11, find my video on the 20K giveaway, put down a caliber you want us to talk about on my podcast Caliber Corner, and you are entered in the drawing. We'll do that in approximately 2 weeks. A week from Monday, this coming Monday.
All right. Well, I've already entered, Travis. So
there you go. So you're gonna get it. You're gonna win.
You don't need to do anything else, but just send it my way.
I don't know about that. We're gonna have to do it live on TV so everybody can, or live on the internet so everybody can see it.
We can do it live. That's no problem.
That's right. I'll send you some spent brass. How's that? And then you can start reloading. So.
Okay.
I know how you feel about reloading, so we can make it into reloading chat and we can talk about 224 Valkyrie.
No. All right. And finally, she's finally responding to my emails again. So we got Stacy here.
Well, it might be for a limited time, depending on my internet tonight.
Well, tell Snob to turn the hamsters on.
Yeah, well, or tell my son to quit updating Fortnite.
They took Fortnite down, don't you know?
Yeah, did they re-release it now or not? Has it been released again, or are they still running the black hole?
No, it's been released.
It's been released? They released the new season? Okay.
Season 11 or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard
a whole new map. It's been downloading for a while.
Oh, okay. Good. But we don't want to get into video game chat because,
No.
That'll actually make you some money. So, yeah.
Yeah. As if you can make money on YouTube anymore. All right. So we got a couple topics to talk about tonight. I've got them all set up here. I don't know which one do you guys want to delve into first.
What are the options, Nice Strike? What do we got?
Well, I'm going through. We could talk about Elizabeth Warren. The last of the Mohicans tax plan.
She scares me.
I know.
Seriously, she's like that aunt that I don't like to hang out with.
We can talk about the federal court that dismissed the case against firearms manufacturers. We can talk about the DC police chief that just discovered that gun control laws do nothing about a revolving door criminal justice system. We can talk about Turkey.
And like stuffing and ham and stuff and swap recipes or
the
Mideast.
It is almost Thanksgiving.
The country. But it is almost Thanksgiving. We're getting there. But we also have one other topic we can talk about because it happened over the weekend. So the ATF definition of an AR-15 lower as a firearm is in trouble. Which topic do you guys want to start with first?
Can we talk about the lowers? Because
I'd say that's pretty interesting. That I hadn't heard this.
Do it.
All right. So again, this disclaimer: A lot of these articles I got from the Truth About Guns because they always have good articles, though most of them come up over the weekend. It just happens. And then sometimes we get a slow weekend, which I like the slow weekends more than I like the busy ones. Because sometimes you got the bad with the good, and I'd rather have good news or no news instead of bad news. But anyways, okay, so this pertains to the that guy that settled with the ATF and the United States government because he was illegally selling 80% finished AR-15s and to people without a manufacturer's license in California, and he was doing it I guess he was not doing 4473s either.
But he wasn't selling a finished firearm. He was selling a piece of steel.
No, here's the thing.
Okay.
A Southern California man named Joseph Rowe produced 80% AR-15 lowers and complete rifles, some of which he allegedly sold without a manufacturer's license, and some allegedly to prohibited persons. That's the part right there that gets him. But at least a few of the guns he sold were used in crimes, including an 80% lower that was used as the basis for a rifle build used in a 2013 spree in Santa Monica. Well, okay. The ATF had been watching Rowe for years and mounted a sting operation against him in 2014. They sent undercover agents into his South LA machine shop where he was holding what were basically build parties where customers finished lowers and assembled completed rifles. Again, that doesn't sound so bad. Now, the prohibited persons part sounds bad, but build parties in itself doesn't sound so bad. Rowe was eventually arrested and charged with running an unlicensed firearms manufacturing operation, but none of that is the interesting part of the story. The aspect that's worthy of your attention and is no doubt giving the ATF nightmares is the argument that Rowe's attorney made in successfully defending his client. As you probably know, the only part of the AR-15 that's legally considered a firearm is the lower receiver. That's the part that's serialized and requires a background check to purchase, unless you buy an 80% lower receiver and finish it yourself. But that's another story. Joseph Rowe was smart enough to hire a good attorney, Gregory Nicolason. Nicolason did his homework and actually read the federal statute that lays out what constitutes legally a firearm. Nicolason argued that the definition of a receiver under the relevant federal code differed in various ways from the AR-15 component Rowe was accused of manufacturing. Under the U.S. Code of Federal Regulations, a firearm frame receiver or the firearm frame or receiver is defined as the part of a firearm which provides housing for the hammer, bolt, or breech block and firing mechanism, and which is usually threaded at its forward portion to receive the barrel. Now, if you don't know anything about the AR-15, the threaded portion is in the rear.
But that's to receive the buffer, not to receive the barrel.
Exactly. The lower receiver in Rowe's case does not have a bolt or breech block. It is not threaded to receive the barrel, Nicolason noted. And neither does any other AR-15 lower receiver, where most firearms have a monolithic receiver that meets the definition under federal law. An AR has a split receiver, an upper and a lower. Neither component, strictly speaking, meets the definition of a frame or receiver that is explicitly laid out in the law. Sarge, are the hamsters turning now?
No, I think that's very interesting.
So, and in effect, Nicolason argued that the ATF's interpretation of federal law that they've been using to deem AR-15 lowers as legal firearms is wrong and has been since, well, forever. technically since the 1968 GCA, because this is what this refers to.
When did that definition of a firearm and or lower, when was that put into use?
1968.
So that was before or after the?
Well, it was either before. See, it's part of the 1968 Gun Control Act. Refers to serialization of parts and whatnot, as well as it refers to definitions of firearms. But I don't think the definition specifically that they're talking about is it's either it's laid out in the GCA, or it may be a definition that the ATF adopted when the ATF was created.
So has the court case been settled yet or not?
No, I'm not done yet. There's more.
All right.
There is more. We are not done with this yet. This goes on. So Nicolason called the decision to classify it as a firearm nonetheless the result of secret in-house decision-making. Nicolason accused the ATF of abusing its authority by pursuing Roe based on his alleged violation of a policy that masquerades as law. Roe's case was heard in a bench trial at his option, in which only the judge hears the evidence and renders a verdict. U.S. District Court Judge James v. Selma deliberated for a year and then wrote a tentative order in April. In this order, Selma agreed with Roe's argument that the ATF's definition of an AR-15 lower as a firearm is faulty. That no doubt set off alarm bells from LA to DC. If the ruling were allowed to stand, that would set a very inconvenient precedent, one that would make AR-15 lowers, like any other part of an AR platform rifle, just another gun part that could be made and sold through the mail to just about anyone. No serial number or background check needed. The ATF couldn't let that stand, so prosecutors reached a plea deal with Roe. Selma did find that Roe was guilty of selling completed firearms without a license, subjecting him to a possible prison sentence. Following Selma's tentative order, the prosecution and defense agreed to a deal in which Roe would plead guilty to the charge against him, but would be allowed to withdraw that plea if he stayed out of trouble for a year. Prosecutors then would dismiss the case. If Roe abides by the deal, he will have no criminal conviction and will serve no time behind bars. And there would be no legal precedent. Sources familiar with the agreement said prosecutors wanted to strike a deal in order to prevent Selma's order from becoming a permanent drawing publicity and creating case law that could hamper ATF enforcement efforts. They basically let Roe walk in order to preserve the current fiction under which the ATF regulates AR-15 sales. What else? As for drawing publicity, the media has done a good job on that with their story. There's another quote here. Federal law enforcement officials and members of Congress have been on notice about a potential problem with the language in federal gun law as applied to AR-15 since at least 2016. In July of that year, prosecutors in Northern California abandoned a case, a convicted felon named Alejandro Jimenez, after a judge found the AR-15 lower receiver he was accused of purchasing in an ATF undercover sting did not meet the definition of a receiver under the law. The ruling and subsequent dismissal drew little notice, but prompted a letter to Congress from the U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch. She advised lawmakers that the judge's decision was not suitable for appeal, and that if the ATF officials believed the definition should be changed, they should pursue regulatory or administrative action. And that's about it. So
we're going to be looking at some sort of a redefinition down the road after this case is
that
settled. That's a
after
little
this
scary.
case after this case is settled, you know, on that, quite honestly, it could be somebody else could bring it up as a court case if it's in the same district, and they could get either the same result or a different result entirely. Remember, it's always up to the judge. So we have no idea.
Okay, so can this open up the books for people to like sue the state if they were wrongly accused because of the incorrect definition? Like people that might have been busted under what was thought to be the law, but the definition was actually incorrect. Like people that actually got arrested and went through trial and jail time and stuff like that.
Of course, they can have their cases reevaluated now.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd jump on trying to get that precedent in court.
Well, what's going to happen is they're not going to say that the lower is no longer a firearm. It's going to now include the upper in some sort of amendment. So now you probably won't be able to get a serialized. You won't be able to get an upper anymore if this goes through.
And if that happens,
actually end up hurting us.
If that happens, then there's going to be a revolt.
Well, what it's going to do is that they're just going to change. They're going to update, since it was brought to their attention that this receiver is different, that this is a split receiver. They'll go back and define that it includes a split receiver as well, and it'll end up making the upper serialized, and you won't be able to buy barreled uppers anymore if this goes through. Sometimes you got to be careful what we ask for.
Well, remember, they can't do that. They can't make that arbitrary decision on their own. The ATF can't do that ruling. It would have to go through Congress.
You can be sure, Sarge. So I think Sarge is going along the right path. Maybe not exactly that might not happen, but what's going to happen is they're going to go back and do damage control, and they're going to figure out a way to not look stupid. It's not like they're just going to go, oops, we made a mistake. Everybody that we made a mistake with, get in line and we'll make it right. They're going to go back and figure out.
It's not even about that. You've got to fix the error that was found. Now you have to fix it.
I mean, we call it fixing, but I think they call it something different. I don't really think they're interested in fixing it.
Yeah.
They're interested in a way of making it just as bad, if not worse, but changing the wording and not looking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, have any of y'all ever dealt with any ATF guys? I'm not talking about the whole agency as a whole. I'm saying, have you ever talked to any of them?
I have. I had one of them call me because the FFL down the street was doing illegal transfers and sold 2 guns to one of my friends.
Most of them got into it because they love guns. The majority of them got into it because of that.
Yeah,
I'm not speaking for the whole agency and the administration. I'm talking about the people that work.
Yeah, the guy that I talked to was really nice. I mean, we were kind of freaking out because, it's not every day the ATF calls your cell phone while you're at work.
Yeah.
But he was actually a pretty cool dude and, told me everything I needed to do and, what my friend needed to do and all that kind of stuff. And neither one of us were in any trouble. And he wasn't interested in coming to get the guns or anything like that. He just wanted to know, was this guy selling guns? And we were like, yeah.
All right. So, what else? What else? Does anybody else have a topic they want to talk about? I can go through some one of these other topics, or we could, why don't we talk about Turkey? Because I just wanted to mention, I've heard of what's going on with Turkey, if they do decide to impose sanctions on Turkey, you do realize that all the ZQI ammo, even though most of that's dried up, won't be allowed in the country anymore. Zenith, MKE, what else?
Dude, there's a slew
Canics.
of shotguns that are imported under different. I mean, that's
Canics won't be allowed in the country anymore. And here's the thing:
you mean I'm not going to be able to buy my Canic Elite SC?
No,
better get it now, buddy.
I better get it now.
Hold on. I just need to mention this because even Clovertack has mentioned this on his show because he's more of the shotgun guy. But he also mentioned that most over and under shotguns that are sold here in the United States these days are made in Turkey.
Yeah, Hirsan brand, and I mean they market them under all these different. Like I think some of the Charles Dailies are Midland, the little break action ones. A lot of your H&Rs, your partner pumps and stuff. Those are imported from China. Those are made by Hawk. But there's a ton of shotguns. A lot of those AR pattern shotguns that you see, those are all Turkish made. Turkey is like the breadbasket of shotgun production. I don't know why, but it just is. A lot of it has to do with the cheaper labor costs. A lot of these companies would go in and set up shop there. Companies would buy the plants from another shotgun company like Remington or Mossberg and then make their own, clone version of it to sell.
Yeah.
Are they talking about a firearms embargo? Is that something they're saying? Or are they saying all Turkish products or what?
That's what I heard. All Turkish products. But again, this is leading into did you hear what ABC did? Apparently, ABC got busted for using Knob Creek footage in report on Turkey's military attacking Kurd civilians.
I can put a link out in the chat to somebody else's YouTube video if you want me to, Night Strike, but I don't want to do it without your permission.
Does it relate to this?
Yeah, it's a YouTuber that talks about this specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. But again, it's just that they took footage of Knob Creek's machine gun shoot and their night shoot, and they went and used that as footage of what's going on in Syria in Syria with Turkey, and I'm like, hold on a minute, that's not right.
That's what happens when you let little millennial interns do your research for you. They do a Google search of gunfire at night, and they find some random video and jeez.
I'm not sure. I don't think that works that way, ABC. But they were calling it the slaughter in Syria. It was just explosions from Knob Creek. They couldn't, I don't know, spend the extra couple $100 to send someone over there to take footage or get someone's drone footage. I mean, seriously.
Just use Associated Press footage too, like what every other journalism, in
every other real journalism does. Yeah, right.
Man, that's crazy, dude.
I know it's crazy, but again, I just wanted to comment on this because, apparently they got called out on it, and they took down the video. And they haven't really given an apology. They said there was an error and it's a correction, but they didn't apologize for it. Yeah, that's our media at work. I don't want to give them any more notoriety than this because, quite honestly, I'm disgusted that they would even do such a thing in the first place instead of actually, I don't know, doing their job. Travis, I think your dog is playing with one of his toys.
I thought I had him muted. My bad on there. Yeah, he's going nuts right now.
They were doing their job.
This is the fighting going on in Turkey right now. There's this is what's happening. There's big creatures running through the desert on Persian rugs, and anyway,
Actually-
man.
Actually, that reminds me of like a Scandinavian dog. I think it's called like a
The Swedish Balhund. Yeah, they're awesome.
the
Yeah,
Swedish
yeah.
Balhunds. They're
Yep.
they're like wolf corgis.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I'd like to get one of those down the road at some point.
They're like a corgi, a wolf.
Longer legs. Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
it.
don't actually know if they're the same like lineage at all, but that's supposedly they are. But I don't think they are.
All dogs are supposedly descended from wolves.
Oh
All
yes.
of them. Not just one specific breed. All of them did. No.
Sorry, guys. He's going nuts tonight.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting to see what happens with Turkey because again, the Kurds, Syria, Assad, Iraq. I mean, it's going to get ugly. I will say this: so you probably should do some studying up on who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, or if there are any good guys or bad guys in the whole issue.
So. All right. What else do we want to talk about? Travis, do you have anything?
I honestly do not. I've been pretty busy the last couple of days, so I have not had a chance to really keep up on anything. If there's anything new coming out for firearms, people have been talking about it all, or
nah.
I
really don't want to talk about Pocahontas, so we're not going to talk about it. You know what? I'm going to talk about some good news.
There you go.
Federal court dismisses case against firearms manufacturers. That sounds like good news.
There we go.
Because, we don't want to put unnecessary burden on manufacturers who make our, and I'm going to say this as a joke, but who make our toys. Our adult toys. / our guns. All right. So, U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio, Eastern Division, has dismissed a case against several AR-15 firearms manufacturers, including Smith & Wesson, Remington Arms Company, Sig Sauer, Sturm, Ruger and Company, Colt Manufacturing, and Armalite. The dismissal with prejudice of the Primus Group versus Smith & Wesson et al. Case was delivered October 9th. The court found the plaintiffs had no standing to bring the case against the defendants. The decision asserts that those who purposefully and criminally misuse firearms are the ones who are responsible for those crimes. It further affirms that activist lawsuits to prompt judicial action are not the proper avenue to establish policy. This was an excerpt from the NSSF on the Truth About Guns, saying, as the NSSF Foundation wrote, the decision by the federal judge dismissed with prejudice this frivolous case is pleasing, if not unexpected, said Lawrence G. Keene, National Shooting Sports Foundation, Senior Vice President of Government Relations and Public Affairs and General Counsel. These are lawful and federally regulated AR-15 modern sporting rifle manufacturers that make semi-automatic rifles for lawful purposes. The judge was absolutely correct to assert that the proper venue to establish public firearms policy is through the legislator and not the courts. Primus Group LLC is an entertainment venue in Columbus, Ohio. The limited liability company filed suit after the incidents in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio, claiming that the firearms companies engaged in racketeering, intentional misrepresentation claims, and a clear and present danger of all American lives due to their assault weapons.
We should really be thankful that did in fact get shot down, because think about you could sue any company anytime anybody's killed with anything. A hammer company, a pencil company. I mean, there's so much liability out there just waiting to happen if they would let something like this go through. I mean, how you would think you would even have a case is beyond me, or how somebody. I'm completely dumbfounded that anybody would even try to bring a lawsuit against the firearms companies.
Yeah. So, there's more. The modern sporting rifles manufactured and sold by the companies named as defendants are semi-automatic rifles, meaning one round is fired for each trigger pull. Decision by the federal judge to dismiss with prejudice this frivolous case is pleasing, if not expected. Again, they're going and saying the same thing over again, but more or less, that's that's the end of it. They just say the same thing over again. But the fact that this did go through, they did set a case number. The case number was 219-CV-03450. Judge Edmund A. Sargis decided the case. So those are the notes for that. So if you want to go and look that up, go for it. But it's nice to see that the judge, actually has a sound head on his shoulders, that he's making judgments based on the law and applying the law to people that break the law, instead of letting people basically sue to be sue happy, just to try and get their way, because apparently they can't get their way any other way.
Now, is there any more appeal options at all for the company that brought the lawsuit, or is this basically end it right here? Can they appeal it to the next courts up, or is that no?
I don't know. If it was dismissed, I don't think so. They'd have to go and resubmit it, I would assume.
Because obviously they got the revenue to keep doing this. I'm kind of curious as to who their source is.
So, but again, if it's dismissed, that Sarge, you deal with the courts more than I do. If a case is dismissed by the judge, does that mean they have to go and resubmit the case all over again, or do they have to just take it to a higher court?
If now the judge dismissed it,
yes.
And what was the case again?
It was basically, a venue basically going and suing firearms manufacturers for basically racketeering.
A venue suing firearms manufacturers for racketeering.
Yeah.
I don't fully understand that question. So
you don't fully understand whether the case is dismissed, whether it goes to a higher court or lower court.
I don't think the prosecution can appeal a dismissal. They can dismiss it on their own and recharge it later. But if the judge dismisses it, I don't think they can appeal, because what's there to appeal?
Yeah, it's not, the dismissal isn't an actual sentence. Like,
The judge has to find a reason.
Yeah, you could just recharge again.
And I don't know if the judge dismisses it. You can voluntarily dismiss it on your own and then recharge, but because then it hasn't been adjudicated, so it's not double jeopardy. If a ruling has been put down, you wouldn't be able to recharge. And I just don't know about appealing a dismissal, unless I don't know why it was dismissed for lack of probable cause. I don't know why. There's a little bit more to it than that, but it would be unlikely. How about that?
That sounds about right. All right, so obnoxious
I think
one.
can we discuss why people aren't hitting the thumbs up button?
At this point,
47 people in here. Take a second and hit the thumbs up button. Okay, go ahead.
There's 47 people watching this crap?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask, because if I ask, I always get
I'm
the
asking.
opposite, so.
Just reach out there.
I'm not
just click
asking.
it.
I'm not
Just
asking.
click
I'm
it.
telling all you worthless content stealers to get off your asses and hit that goddamn thumbs up button.
Just click it.
You lousy, miserable human beings.
Click it.
Do it. Do it
No, the
now.
lousy, miserable ones already hit the thumbs down. We gotta get the good ones to hit the thumbs up.
Well, the ones that haven't hit the thumbs up yet are still lousy, miserable human beings.
I'm on your side, guys. Just go ahead and click the button.
Right. All right. I think we're going to end early tonight then, because I really don't want to talk about any of these other topics.
Do it. Do it. Do it. What are the other topics?
It's about DC. The police chief discovers that gun control laws do nothing about a revolving door criminal justice system.
Well, yeah. Okay, we've covered that one. So what's the next one?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to go into any further detail than that, because it's only like 3 paragraphs. So there you go. I mean,
What else you got?
that's it. That's it. We went through them because
Can I ask something? Calaveras has a good comment, because this happened to me last night. Calaveras says that the thumbs seem to be working at the moment. Some of us are having problems where we click the thumb and it goes away. That happened to me last night on Midnight's chat. It would not accept my thumbs up until right at the end, and it finally did stick. I don't know what the deal was. So if anybody's having that problem, put it out there in the comments, because I didn't know anybody else was having that issue. I thought maybe it was a glitch on my end. So click the button and let us know if it doesn't work. Then I'm being serious. I'm not joking at all.
You realize that now you've just made a case for us being in the Matrix.
Yeah.
DTEM62 said, "Sure, he was robbing you. Oh well."
Oh my gosh. That is one of the best sound clips ever. I really hated that someone got shot, but don't rob anybody with a gun, and that won't happen. You would drastically reduce your chances of getting shot if you don't go arm rob somebody.
Apparently, Matt Gregored his Instagram account back.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Now he's
got,
retracted it. Leave it out there for everybody to see, Ohio. What the hell?
Ohio he lost it again. That's why he had to retract the comment.
Yeah.
See, because the thumbs up and thumbs down haven't gone up, I figured there'd be trolls like clicking the thumbs down as a joke and then changing it back, but nothing has changed. So I'm wondering if that glitch is still going on.
I don't know. It took my thumbs up when I gave it.
Oh, I refreshed my screen. We're up to 24 and 7 down. Good job, people.
Awesome.
But I'm not joking. Midnight's last night, I could not like his chat. It wouldn't let me.
Yeah, it's midnight. That's why. Uh-oh. Whose feelings did I hurt? I had to refresh my chat so I could see. Now we've got 50 watching and 32 thumbs of any variety.
Well, that's how it goes.
Wait. Travis T has 2 feelings? You son of a bitch.
Wait. Travis D has 2 feelings at the same time.
Got him right.
Feeling all right?
He's got 2 feelings. That son of a bitch.
What was that? Thumbs up and thumbs down? Is that?
And those of us with only 1 feeling would feel your pain, except we don't have that feeling. Slim's got a question for you, Night Strike.
Yeah, we're not talking about that on air.
Hey,
let me talk about it.
No, I do not.
Come on, let me talk about it.
No, I do not.
Let me talk about it. Come on.
Do it.
Roll call will let me talk about. Roll call will let me talk about it.
Do I look like roll call to you?
No. Come
That's what I
on.
thought.
Let me talk about it.
I don't know. He kind of resembles roll call a little bit, like they could be cousins or something.
No, you sound a hell of a lot like roll call.
Oh God.
I get y'all confused.
Go
Snob,
ahead.
Snob's
and
wife,
talk
your voice has changed drastically over the last
Yes.
30 minutes. Did something happen that we don't
What happened to Karen?
Ooh.
Just an
Ooh,
annoying fly that won't go away.
I just walk in here to hear Night Strike say, "Do I look like roll call?" And I had to respond. I couldn't let that.
Hashtag Kimbers for Karen.
Kimber for Karen, yeah.
Oh, so I do get, but you said I do get to talk about it?
Be brief.
Be brief.
Yeah.
Honest Abe is a cowardly fuck who can't go out there with his real name. So he's out there making all these little troll comments while hiding behind a anonymous avatar. And if you had any balls whatsoever, you'd put your real name out there behind it. So there we go. I've talked about it.
There you go. I like when Sarge said, hashtag Kimber for Karen. All right. So Kingpin, give us your outro.
Goodbye.
Right. Sarge,
What up?
give us your outro.
I've got a video going to come out in the morning, and I'm going to film some more video this week, and I better go ahead and buy my Canic before Washington, since they won't be imported anymore. So
You better get one.
Panic buy Canics right now, guys. Get them tonight before the prices go up in the morning.
put all
And
your
your
money in big Canic.
And your Turkish made shotguns. So
Yep. So get a Canic SC and send it to me.
and then what's really going to be bad is when the price of turkeys go up too. That's going to really suck. So
Yeah.
that you better get your turkey now because the price on turkeys will be going up. Just like those Mosins. Just like those Mosins.
Roll call already
supply
got
and
his.
demand too. Supply and demand. The demand is going up because it's almost November.
Yep. I'd recommend you go harvest your own turkey if you want to save money.
All right, Travis.
No, I appreciate the invite. Thank you very much. Do check out my channel, Travis B11. And again, we've got a 224 Valkyrie complete upper giveaway with a magazine and a bipod. So check out my channel, find the video on that giveaway, and it's very easy to be entered in the drawing. Thanks for the invite, dude.
So, Stacy, do you or Snob want to give your outro?
Do we really have to include him?
I mean, I'm being polite. You don't have to.
Well, for me, thank you for the invite. And I'm all for the hashtag Kimber for Karen if it gets me a Kimber. So
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. Are you going to go with the 380 or the 9?
technically, I wouldn't mind having both of them. So
Okay.
I love it.
I thought Snob's got
All
access
right.
to Kimbers and stuff.
All right.
Shouldn't be an
Just
issue to
the
get you
cat-
Kimber.
The hashtag is
yeah, he
technically
has to quit spending
Kimbers
money so
for
much.
Karen. It's Kimbers for Karen. It's not Kimber. So there we go.
If she gets both of them, then she'll have as many guns as Snob's bought this week.
I
Yeah.
haven't bought any of this. Oh, wait, I did buy one.
Did he tell
Hey,
us
Snob,
what
quit.
he bought this week?
Hey, you still spent $100, so
Snob
Gotcha.
keeps blowing his production budget on drone footage, so that's part of the problem right there. So all that
Right.
fancy drone footage.
Obnoxious.
Well, let me
Did
tell you, I
you
paid my
tell her
drone
about the other
pilot
one?
well.
I don't
It's
think
all
you
good,
did.
man.
I don't think you did tell her about the other one. Oh
I
shit!
still got to get a quote on
All
shipping
right,
for that
so-
other one that's out of the shop for him. So
All right, obnoxious one. Give us your outro.
Yes, sir. This is my outro. This outro is mine. There are many like it. But go check out my stuff and my things. Check out my Instagram, and I dropped a Canic video today before the prices went up. And Honest Abe is a cowardly fuck. And I think his message is shit because he claimed that we didn't, question his message. I think your message is shit. I think you're a cowardly fuck. And thanks for having me on.
Yep. All right. So with that, we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy. This was Hit or Miss.
Hashtag Porky Pickin. Shall not be infringed.
Yeah, go to porkypickens.com. Use code
Gamers for Karen.
Thanks.
Gamers for Karen.
Gamers for Karen. Honest Gabe's a cowardly fuck.